Hi, my name's Oliver Brown. It's Tuesday, the 28th of September, and we're here again for Two Mugs. I'm joined by Stephen Bannister and all of you. And yeah, thanks for joining us, Steve.
Thanks, Ollie. Great to be here on another great day.
Yeah, great to have you. So again, market keeps us guessing. We've moved away from trading sideways. We've now got a bit of a spike in the market. We're at 1935. Give us a bit of an idea of what we can expect, Steve, over the next week or so. What are we looking at? Why is it spiked up? And do you think it's going to drop away, or do you think it's going to keep going up?
Thanks, Ollie. Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of sessions. We've really seen probably 6 positive sessions in a row, crawling back from a low around 184 where we were at. And I think there's a couple of things to be considering at the moment. The first is it raining in Brazil? And I think we've got to tick that box. We had a bit of rain over the previous weekend. And there's more decent rain on the forecast. So why is it going up? I think we've got to thank our friends COSUPE that put out a press release saying maybe there's more damage out there, sort of triggering a bit of what you would call buy the rumor. We don't know what's happened yet. We've still got a long way to grow. Trees have got a long way to mature, flower, and everything else. So sometimes people will react to that. The other thing, we've had the big macro of the China construction company. Is it going to fail? Is it not going to fail? What's it going to do to markets? Overall, we've seen a bit of a sort of upwards and downwards and not much change at the same time. I think it's important to consider, though, where we are today, because we're punching up into this psychological 200-cent barrier, and generally we've failed to stay above that. So I would feel from our point of view that we're going to probably see a move lower. We may see the markets continue to window dress into the month end, so people's reports look nice and pretty when you're trading huge positions potentially. And no one wants to be short with still an unknown or a deficit in the supply and demand. So what does that all equal? Probably a little bit more of a sidewards to upward move to the end of the month. And then I would say I think we're going to come off in October at the same time.
Yeah, wow. And what do you think, in terms of coming off, do you expect it to drop back down the 190 to mid eights, or are we expecting it to come down further? Or again, my guess is as good as yours.
If I had the crystal ball, our office would be in Fiji or in Hawaii, but unfortunately I don't. So I really can't see it falling too far, to be honest. I think there's a lot of opportunity, or roasters targeting levels like 180 cents a pound to buy. But again, we've got to think about psychologically, how do we buy or how do we fix prices at the same time? So differentially, it might be the price to buy now. So you're securing your supply. Supply is probably the most important thing today rather than price, because you don't want to be at the mercy of the spot market, having to buy maybe a quality that you're not aligned to, or you have to, it doesn't work in your blend. Where I think there's an important aspect here of just looking and securing supply. Once we've got supply differentially, we can look at fixing that when the shipment market becomes available and the shipment month. At the same time, everybody's behind. So lots of different forces here. How far can the market go down? I really see huge support at 180 for lots of people to come in and be buying. And I see potentially more selling where we are today from the Brazil factor. So I think we're still going to trade this 180-200 range from here more or less till the end of the year, I would say. I don't think we're seeing any real breakout information that's telling us we're going to go outside that range. But famous last words.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for peering into your crystal ball, and let's hope that it does eventuate down. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the challenges of those of us. There's slight talk of the airlines opening. There's slight talk of travel being an option in October. But most of us are just not going to be able to travel for these new seasons ahead. How do you, as a roaster, how do we maximize this sort of this purchasing model now? Like, what do we suggest to our roasters to do in order to reconnect, to get those traditional coffees that they wanted? How is our roaster supposed to step through this very dynamic, difficult landscape now, Steve?
Well, where to start? I think first of all, it's about not putting the roaster in the shoes that you and I found ourselves in going to Africa at the beginning of 2020, and then a pandemic slowly happening as we're not in our own country. So that was a scary thing.
Yeah.
We learn a lot from that, and we want to make sure that if we're going to go anywhere, we can come back and come back safely at the same time. So until that really can happen, it's all about communication. It's all about really understanding and getting the right brief to our partners at origin at the same time, to understand what people are looking for in acidity, to really sit down and have a conversation with yourself, Ollie, and go, I want this out of my espresso. How do I get it?
Yeah.
And then we go to work, and then using our knowledge and experience and the experience of our partners in origin, we can really have that conversation and even bring our origin partners to the table. We can all join a video call at the moment, and we've had some really successful partners, suppliers join us in our team meetings, and we've set up some great calls with our customers at the same time, really strengthening that bond, that trust point of almost, as we were talking about, curating that supply chain, but improving it, because it's one thing at the moment to find that great coffee. It's another thing entirely to get it to the roaster's door at the moment. And we need to be working ahead. We want to be getting stock out. We want to be giving the opportunity to our cuppers in all the origins around the world that are about to go into harvest in Central America a really strong idea on what our customers want. From there, I think that's our job, to really hit that brief. And the stronger we can have communication with all of you that are listening, suppliers or customers, in a way, let's create a strong supply chain and let's work on that, because I think that's what we're about at the moment. It's not about what coffee do I have in my shed. It's really about how can I help you build a relationship, and together we both prosper on that relationship that's been formed.
Yeah, and as you say, no longer can you hope to just buy your spot position for the warehouse, because you don't even know if the coffee's going to be there, and 10 different people are all chasing the same spot coffee. So the idea of someone getting the spot that they want might not be possible. I know certainly from our point of view, we've had a huge amount of success in placing our faith in our brother and sister offices and just saying, select the best. We will buy the best coffee that you select. We trust your cupping team. And I think that was a massive thing for us for Kenya this year to see, how incredible they were and how incredible Mookie's selection was from the lab side. That's possible for everyone and anyone to apply the same theory and connect directly with one of our origin partners. Off they go. I agree.
Definitely, and I think, I mean, in the same vein, I really encourage people that are buying organics or certified coffees to be thinking, sorry, but even further ahead. I think they're going to be more challenging in a spot market environment. Similarly, decaf coffee. I think there's almost going to be a shortage of decaf coffee. I don't want to predict this, but I feel it's coming at the same time, and factories are booked well into next year for shipment now at the same time. So it's interesting times ahead for decaf, but to make sure that, again, you get a decaffeinated coffee that you like, that is meaningful to you and your customer base, pays to potentially have those ideas working forward, or at least letting Ollie, yourself and your team really know what sort of coffees you want at the same time. We've decided to decaf some interesting Mexico coffees. We'll see how they land soon, and we'd love to get a bit more understanding from customers about what they feel about those coffees as they land, and we engage some of them as well. So that's something interesting that we're doing in that space. But I still feel the market for decaf is going to be tight over the next 4 months.
Yeah, certainly we've seen that, and I know there isn't much decaf to be had anywhere in Australia at the moment. I was only just having a conversation with the roaster today about, no, we don't have any, but it's coming, and they were desperately looking. So yeah, you're right already. But yeah, and I think that point as well, cannot be stressed. You must be looking further forward. We're shipping now for the start of the year across most of the origins, and that's a long way for those traditionally that would maybe 2 months out would be start considering for 2 months ahead. It's got to be longer now. People have got to think on those terms, longer term forward planning, changing those mindsets.
Yeah, and I mean it's very difficult for the roaster right now trying to understand their own consumption and usage with lockdown or coming out of lockdown. Is that going to be a 20% increase? Am I going to see more customers? Are people not really going to go back to work? It's still a big unknown at the same time. So juggling all those components is a really tough one. But I think it does pay to really have coffee coming, and again be working with a partner that can, I guess, make sure that they've got your coffees ready when you need them.
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. Yeah, spot on. Steve, thank you very much for that. I think it's something that I know we're going to sort of dig a bit more into, this idea of this curated coffee model, and what that looks like for both the specialty end of town and how you do it as larger scale as well. And it's a subject that I know everyone's going to be looking at closely. So thanks for helping us all understand how we might do that. And till next week.
Thank you, Ollie. And looks like you're going to be creating the curated model as we've sort of cloned it with Harry next week. So I will enjoy listening to that. I won't be here, but shout out to everyone. Stay caffeinated, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
See you soon, Steve. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Bye.